It's a special edition of Compas on the Beat. We will preview Super Bowl Wildcard Weekend in 5 parts. And episode is all about the New York Football Giants at the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. Obviously, we got Victor producer, Dan and Dago, Gilbert Manzano, and myself, Fernando Ramirez, to break this all down. The betting experts in Las Vegas are expecting this to be actually a close game, similar to when they met on Christmas Eve with the Vikings betting the Giants on the last second field goal. So this is going to be interesting. The Vikings are favored by 3 points, mainly because they're at home. All right, let's have this roundtable. What intrigues you guys the most about this matchup? I'll start with Gilbert.
Yeah, I think you meant to say beating, not betting, but that's you being
Beating, my bad.
Being good to the script there. But this is
I said betting experts.
Oh, you said beating.
Oh, my bad.
Betting on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, beating. My bad.
Made me laugh. And also, so you could call this game the Battle of the Frauds, but they're both frauds, so it might be a good game. So I'm actually intrigued for this game. Like if the Vikings were to play somebody else, I'm like, get them out of here. I don't want to see them. Or even the Giants too. So this is a match here, and I like it. Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins. Yeah, it doesn't sound as appealing, but it's better than Skylar Thompson going up against Josh Allen, right? This is an even matchup. Like
these are gonna be snooze fests.
No, I just mean it's like when you see Minnesota. Yeah, it's when you like sit down and you want to watch a good boxing fight and you have no idea who's fighting, and it becomes a good fight, and then you talk about it the next day. So, the question is who's going to show up for the Vikings. I think it would be the one-score Vikings because the Giants can't put up 40 points on them. They're not that type of team to do it. So it's going to come down to the wire, and Minnesota's at home. I know that. I don't need to ask you, Fernando, for that one. If you want to play it again, go ahead. And then, Victor, you know the stat, right? How many one-score games have they won, the Vikings?
11. Okay. The other game that didn't end in a blowout or a one-score game was the first game against the Packers.
Oh, okay. There you go. Good stat, 11-0. And it's going to be a close game. And I keep thinking about who's going to defend Justin Jefferson. But when you play a different team, you can't be a one-man show. This game, you could be a one-man show.
By the way, Daniel gets pissed off because the other day Justin Jefferson scored. He's like, "What the hell is he limping for?" I'm like, "No, I think Daniel told him, no, it's a new dance." He's like, wow. Stupid bastard. He's like, "If I was a coach, I'd be pissed if they were pulling that kind of crap."
It's so stupid. The things these people do nowadays, it's so stupid.
Dan, what intrigues you about this game?
This is what intrigues me. This is what I think is going to be the key.
You're like Kevin Malone. What do I look for in a manager? What do I look for in a manager?
And then I'm just going to smile and say, I had all their attention and just not say anything.
Go ahead.
But I think, seriously, Saquon, I think, is going to be the key. I think you have to control the clock. You have to pound the rock. You have to keep Justin Jefferson on the sideline. Because if you let that guy get reps, get opportunities, get in rhythm, he's going to get hot, and then you're not going to be able to cover him. We've seen it before with great wide receivers. Everyone remembers when Calvin Johnson put up like 300 yards against Alberto's favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. So, that's what you got to do. I think Saquon's going to be a big, crucial part. Can he hang on to the rock? Can he pound the rock? I think that's going to be huge. I think that's going to be huge in this game. You have to do it. You have to wear down that defense and control the clock.
Vic, what intrigues you?
I first, before I start, I need confirmation. Is this a primetime game?
Actually, no. It's at the middle of the pack game.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like the Vikings here just for that reason because Kirk Cousins, we've seen what he does in
1:30 p.m. local time.
Kirk. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 p.m. Kirk.
What are you talking about? Didn't you see a shirtless thing on the airplane after he won a primetime game?
Yeah, no, and the Vikings, they're either as Gilbert pointed out, they're either a one-score game. It'll either be a one-score game or they're gonna blow out. They're gonna get blown out. I think this will be one of the better games we see. I mean, it might not be sexy. It's just they'll keep it close because some of the other ones we've talked about already are going to be blowouts. I think it'll probably come down to the Vikings winning it the same way they won it against the Giants on Christmas Eve. What it really intrigues me about this matchup is how the Giants attack the Minnesota's defense, because their defense isn't that good. The Giants have a really good defense, and so how does the Giants, are they going to rely on as Dan Dago was talking about? Are they going to try and pound the ball with Saquon Barkley, or are they going to allow Danny Dimes to do something? And so that's the most intriguing part about this game, is how do the Giants attack that defense, because it's not that good. Patrick Peterson has found something, as he's in his 11th year in the league, and outside of that, I mean, you still have Michael Kendricks there. You still have other players, but and in terms of you can attack this team whether you run the ball or through the air. So it'll be interesting to see how the Giants attack this defense for me.
I want to see what the Giants are going to look like after getting a week's rest. They sat all their starters against the Eagles. I know a lot of teams wanted their guys to sit players. They were the ones that actually sat their players the whole game. So I'm interested to see how Minnesota or the Giants come out and how they're going to look after having a week's rest. So that I think is the biggest thing that is going to intrigue me more. Let me ask you guys, and this is just my question individually, but which first-year coach do you trust more, Kevin O'Connell or Brian Daboll? Thank you, Dan and Dago, for the Magic Johnson assist. Vic, who do you trust more?
I'm going to go with O'Connell, because one of the things I think we talked about on House of Horns plug there for us there is that, or at least one of the things I've heard is that had Sean McVay left last season for Amazon, that Kevin O'Connell was going to be the one that replaced him. That's who they wanted. So for me, I really like the job he's done. He's done really well in one-score games. And so, I mean, don't get me wrong, what Brian Daboll has done with that team has been outstanding, but I really like what Kevin O'Connell has done with the Vikings.
Gilbert?
I'll take Brian Daboll. And by the way, I probably shouldn't take a shot here, but Brian Daboll managed to start his backups in a meaningless game, and somebody else couldn't do it. So I'll just leave it at that. And he played two tight ends. He played two tight ends the whole game, so his players are healthy and ready to go. And I don't know, I just like what Brian Daboll instilled in this team, because I just looked at the roster. I'm like, I can't even name besides Darius Slayton a good wide receiver, and they're getting it done. And this roster does not stack like the Vikings. You can name Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. They have some blue chip guys. So when you're making the most out of nothing, that means it's good coaching. So give me Brian Daboll.
Dan?
First off, I just want to say it is unbelievable that we have a scumbag in here taking shots at some of the things I hold dear to my heart. I won't say who. I don't even want to give him. I don't even want to give him.
I'm not wearing Homer glasses like you.
Homer glasses. This guy's a hater. We got a hater, Frau. But you know what? Even though I just torched you now, the reason I did that is to fake myself out, because I'm going to agree with you, Roberto.
Yeah.
I think you are correct. So I have to give myself my little dessert before I eat my veggie. Now I'm going to eat my veggie. I agree with Roberto. I think Brian Daboll has done a lot more with less. Everybody was already talking about getting rid of Danny Dimes when he came to the picture. That was the first thing everybody was talking about. And I think he's turned him around to have a more solid year. So he's done a lot more with less. And I think this is probably, obviously, mind you, I haven't seen a lot of them, but I think this is like the first season Saquon's been really available for the most part. And it's like, so he's doing something right over there. I think the trajectory of this team is very good, because I think this is the thing. And I think Joe Judge and some of his predecessors didn't understand. And the one guy over there, McAdoo, wild.
Where did Joe Judge come from? What coaching tree?
Here we go.
I was wondering.
Are you serious?
I had a question.
What does his coaching tree have to do with anything?
Wondering.
That's not a signal of anything.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
That's not, so we're gonna give Sean McVay more credit for Brandon Staley, or Shanahan for Mike McDaniel. He gets elevated for some reason.
All right, go ahead.
Kevin O'Connell with McVay or whatever. Don't get me started. Bill Belichick's the GOAT, Frank.
All right, go ahead. Okay,
you're not going to say Nick Saban's the
GOAT.
No, you interrupted. I reclaim my time, Mr.
Well,
Chair. I already forgot my train of thought.
Okay,
go ahead for now.
You know what? And I was gonna go with O'Connell until you guys like the reason why I feel like I'm with you guys as well is because, like Dan said, Danny Dimes was literally a lot of people wanted him gone. They wanted him to draft a new quarterback. He decided to stick with him. Brian Dable's done a good job with him. By the way, did you guys see Kenny Golladay caught his first touchdown
Play that guy.
as a Giant last week?
About that.
Oh my God, I couldn't with all the money he's making. If he can integrate Kenny Golladay into this offense, I'm really going to be surprised with Brian Dable. But there's a reason why a lot of teams wanted him a year ago. He decided to wait a year. Now, obviously, the Giants got him, and he's done a good job there with the Giants. So I'm not surprised at the job that he's done. But I definitely think that Brian Dable's done a lot with a little bit.
Yep.
And I'm ready to see it next offseason. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but I just want to see with another offseason what Brian Dable can do with that team to get it better, get it growing and everything. But all right, hurry up real quick. What was your
just real
point?
quick? What I wanted to say was this. I think what's going to help Brian Dable be successful is understanding this. The Giants are known for two things similar to, Pittsburgh and other great organizations: hard-hitting defense and a physical run game. That's what made Eli great. Well, good. That's what made Eli good. And that's what helped propel them to 2 Super Bowls. And I think that's the route they need to take with this organization and him moving forward. Great defense, hard-hitting, and even better run game.
Vic, who you got?
Before I say who I'm going to go, I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that the Giants don't make the playoffs next season. I know. I just when we get to that point later on in the offseason, I gotta remember to say that again. But I like the Vikings here, 27-24. I just think that this game is that they're playing at home. They're going to use the same thing they did against the Giants when they played them on Christmas Eve, and they keep it close with Kirk Cousins because it's not a primetime game. And 27-24, guys.
Dan.
A lot of these teams are playing each other again, huh?
Yep.
Dang, that's kind of interesting.
17 games.
Who won the first one? The Vikings?
The Vikings.
The Vikings? I don't think lightning strikes.
I only say that because of 51st dates when the brother, when he's like,
yeah, we all know that. We all know
the tape and he's like, "Go Vikings."
Yeah, we all know. We all know. You got the spandex and the butt flex or whatever.
Yeah,
but I don't think lightning strikes twice. I like the Giants on the road for the upset. Like Gilberto says, I'm not a huge believer in the Vikings, even though they're my Super Bowl pick because I'm a man that convicted. I'm gonna go.
So you already took him out from your pick. Okay,
it doesn't matter to me. What kind of man would I be, Gilberto, if I could?
You're hedging your bet. That's kind of smart, actually.
Unlike Gilbert, I'm not going to curse anything on this on purpose.
I really want to go with the Vikings because they just have more firepower than whatever Danny Dimes has, and I'm not sure I could trust Saquon Barkley. Like sometimes he has like good games, and sometimes he looks like the guy who was beat up the last couple of years, and I can't figure it out. But then I look at how bad Victor reminded me that defense is really bad. That even if the Vikings are scoring points, Danny Dimes could throw up points on that really historically bad defense. Yeah. That secondary is atrocious. That means that run defense is pretty bad. So run the ball early, set up the play action, attack downfield. Maybe Kenny Golladay gets going. So I'm going with the Giants. Just like you ate your vegetables, I'm eating it too. You're right, Dan and Diego. Let's go with Brian Dable making lemonade out of nothing. And the score will be 27-24. Last second field goal to reverse it, and they win in Minnesota.
And that's the thing, right?
I didn't know it was your turn.
The Colts put up 33 points on this defense.
Early.
This is a hard one. I really want to go with the Giants, but I'm going to go with
Minnesota. That was beautiful.
I think Minnesota will win 31-24. I think we're gonna see two of these. We're gonna see two of those. So I think Justin Jefferson will go off a little bit, but he'll go off and score 2 touchdowns. But I think the Vikings are gonna win this game. But folks, don't forget to check out our other episodes on this wild card preview that we're doing this all for you guys. Don't forget to check out Seahawks versus 49ers. Dolphins at Bills.
What?
Ravens at Bengals,
What?
and
What?
Cowboys at Buccaneers. And
What?
for Charger folks, I
What?
know you guys are excited, or Jaguar folks. If you guys want to hear the preview, Dan and Dago, Gilbert and I have you covered on What's Up Bolts. We did a whole thing, we almost did an hour. We did an hour-long show just for you guys. We did an hour-long show to preview that game. Go ahead, go check it out. Don't forget to check out the other videos as we continue Super Wildcard Weekend.